They said every girl in the kingdom dreamed of marrying the prince. Every girl, except Amara. While others prayed for his attention, Amara did the one thing no one had ever dared. She looked the prince in the eye and said, "Your gold cannot buy my soul." That one sentence changed the fate of the entire kingdom forever. Because hidden behind the prince's smile was a secret so dark that every woman before her had disappeared without a trace. And Amara was about to uncover it. In the ancient kingdom of Uzora, where the moonlight kissed the red earth and the drums spoke louder than words, there lived a young woman named Amara. Amara was not the most beautiful in the village, though her beauty was quiet and unforgettable. She had deep thoughtful eyes, skin like polished mahogany, and a spirit that refused to bow before lies. She lived with her blind grandmother in a small mud house at the edge of the forest. The villagers often mocked her. "Why waste your youth caring for an old woman?" they asked. But Amara would smile and reply, "A tree that forgets its roots dies in the dry season." Her grandmother, Mama Eze, was known in her younger days as the wisest woman in the kingdom. Though blind, she saw truths others missed. One evening, while the sun melted into orange shadows, royal drums thundered through the village. Boom! 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 Everyone rushed outside. A royal messenger stood tall on horseback. "The prince seeks a wife," he announced. "Every maiden of age must appear at the palace in 3 days." Excitement exploded like wildfire. Girls screamed in joy. Mothers began preparing wrappers and beads. Fathers whispered of wealth and honor. For Prince Obinna was handsome, rich, and next in line to rule. But Mama Eze tightened her grip on her walking stick. Then she whispered something strange. "Do not go." Amara frowned. "Why, grandmother?" The old woman's voice trembled. "Because no woman who enters that palace returns the same." The entire village ignored the warning. For 3 days, the kingdom transformed into celebration. Young women practiced their dances. Gold bangles jingled. Songs filled the air. On the 3rd morning, dozens of maidens journeyed to the palace. The palace stood on a hill like a sleeping lion, covered in ivory walls and guarded by soldiers in crimson robes. Prince Obinna sat on a golden throne, smiling. His voice was smooth like palm wine. "Welcome, daughters of Uzora." His eyes moved across the women until they stopped on Amara. She wore no jewelry. No expensive cloth. Only a simple blue wrapper. Yet the prince stared longer than he had at anyone else. The maidens were each offered gifts. Gold. Pearls. Silk. Land. Every girl accepted with trembling gratitude. When it was Amara's turn, the prince stepped forward himself and placed before her a calabash overflowing with gold coins. Gasps filled the hall. No maiden had ever been offered so much. The prince smiled. "Take this, and become my queen." The hall went silent. Amara looked at the gold. Then at the prince. And in a voice calm enough to freeze the room, she said, "A river that shines too brightly may hide crocodiles beneath." Then she stepped back. "I refuse." The palace erupted. The maidens whispered in horror. The elders looked offended. The prince's smile disappeared. No one had ever rejected him. Not once. Yet instead of anger, he laughed softly. "Very well," he said. "But I admire courage. Return tomorrow. Let me show you something greater than gold." Amara bowed slightly and left. That night, Mama Eze listened carefully as Amara recounted everything. Then the old woman gasped. "The trap has begun." She revealed a secret buried for decades. When she was young, the prince's father had made the same offer to many women. The women who accepted wealth too quickly vanished. Some said they became queens. Others whispered they were sacrificed in a hidden chamber beneath the palace to preserve the royal bloodline's power. The prince walks in his father's shadow, Mama Eze warned. But why invite me back if I refused? The old woman's face hardened. Because men who worship power fear only one thing. She leaned closer. Those who cannot be bought. The next day, Amara returned. This time, the prince took her alone through the palace. They passed grand rooms, endless corridors, and finally descended beneath the earth. Torchlights flickered. The air grew colder. Then they entered a chamber filled with statues of women. Amara froze. Each statue looked alive. Their expressions captured fear, sorrow, and regret. The prince spoke softly. These are the women who failed me. Amara's blood ran cold. What did they fail? He turned to her. They loved my throne more than truth. They desired riches, not loyalty. Then he stepped closer. But you are different. He offered her a single golden bracelet. Wear this, and become more powerful than any woman in history. Amara remembered her grandmother's warning. She looked at the statues again. Then noticed something terrifying. One statue had tears carved into its cheeks. No sculptor would carve tears into stone unless they had seen them. These were not statues. They were women, turned to stone. Amara pretended to accept. She stretched out her arm. The prince smiled in triumph. But instead of wearing the bracelet, she dropped it into the sacred fire burning in the chamber. The room shook violently. The flames turned blue. The statues began cracking. The prince screamed. His handsome face twisted, revealing something monstrous beneath, eyes dark as charcoal, veins glowing like fire. The curse was breaking. One by one, the stone women returned to flesh. They collapsed to the ground, gasping. The chamber trembled harder. Prince Obinna lunged toward Amara, but Mama Eze's voice suddenly echoed through the chamber. Truth destroys every throne built on blood. The old woman had followed secretly. In her hand was an ancient staff wrapped in cowries. She struck the ground. The hidden chamber split open. A storm of light burst upward through the palace. The curse shattered. The prince's scream echoed across the kingdom as he turned into black dust. Gone forever. When the people learned the truth, the kingdom fell into mourning. So many daughters had been lost to greed, deception, and royal darkness. The elders begged Amara to take the throne. But she refused. Instead, she chose a council of wise men and women to rule together, so no single person could ever again hide evil behind a crown. As for Mama Eze, her blindness vanished the morning after the curse broke. For the first time in years, she saw her granddaughter's face. And she smiled. You were never meant to wear a crown, she said. You were meant to break one. Not every gift is a blessing. Sometimes the brightest gold hides the deepest darkness. True strength belongs to the one who cannot be bought.